Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. Have you ever wondered what Gman is capable of? If you haven't, you should, because he's actually the strongest character on the show right now, and I'm going to prove it. Not only that, I'll also explain to you why Gman is no ordinary villain. He's actually a hero that we just don't understand yet. As much as we'd like to, until we understand all of this character's goals, we can assume. Let's touch on his story again, because there are many more riddles and secrets in it, which we do not know and are unlikely to get answers to them soon. And the most important thing, as you know, Gman will become a new Titan, but not a simple one. He will have technologies and abilities of all 5 races in the series. I've speculated about this before, but with new information in my interview with Boom, we now have even more confirmation to this. I'll explain how and why this will happen in this video, so watch to the end, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Anyway, here we go. Alright, let's get started. Gman is one of the oldest characters on Skibidi Toilet, but he is also one of the most interesting and best characters in the series. He is one of the most well-developed characters that has evolved throughout the series. He is, as we know, the leader of Earth's Skibidi Toilets, their leader who thinks several steps ahead. Many of you, myself included, thought he was a coward who runs away from battle, but that's really not the case. Gman is first and foremost a general. He didn't run away because of fear, but in order to survive and to develop tactics that will help him win in the future, and there's no disagreeing with that. Each of his new appearances came with a plan that he followed. Sure, many of them didn't end in success, but there are those that help the Skibidi Toilets weaken the Alliance and begin to dominate. This could be seen in episodes 47, 57, and 73. This is why Gman is still alive. He is a good general, and this can be seen in his strategy and attitude towards his subordinates. After all, we have seen many times how ordinary fighters, putting themselves in danger, saved Gman. But also as a character, Gman has grown. He pushed his limits for the survival of his race and even offered peace to the Alliance. We gradually watch him transform from an ordinary villain who just needs to be eliminated and move on into something of a hero of his own story. Speaking of history, there's still a lot we don't know about Gman's past. Still, we have a little bit of information that can help us uncover his formative story. As we know, Gman's story began a long time ago, long before the events of the series. From episode 74, we learned that he used to be an ASTRO toilet, but not a regular one, but a general. But after he went against the leader, he was demoted and weakened, and, as we understand it, sent to Earth. But have you ever wondered why they did that to him? Well, I've wondered a lot of times. I've even told you about my speculations in previous videos, but recently I had an idea. As you remember, in my last video, I told you about the serum that is injected into ASTRO toilets. By doing so, their eyes are colored and they become stronger and more durable than any Skibidi toilets. And in episode 77, we actually saw paws come out of an ASTRO's head, and then that head attacked our cameraman. And then I realized that this serum can have such a side effect in the form of some kind of parasite inside the body. This theory could be supported by the fact that many of the Astros, including the Duchess, are wearing collars. They most likely control both the Astro and this parasite. So what I'm getting at is this. What if Gman was opposed to the idea? He fought to keep his race from turning into monster-like creatures. He didn't want a parasite living in their bodies, and so he rebelled against them. Why do I think that? We've seen that the Skibidi Toilets will almost always go after Gman. They trust him. His own fighters are willing to sacrifice their lives for him. And most importantly, when the Skibidi Toilets took over Earth in episode 3, we saw that they were at peace with humans until the agents showed up, while the Astros are trying to kill them at all costs. We saw that in episode 77. This is what all proves that Gman is a deeper and more interesting character. And now he is some sort of protector of his race, and possibly the entire universe, from the fate of being infected by the parasite. After all, he had the resources and power to prevent it, and he tried. But, as we know, unsuccessfully. Speaking of strength, as many of you may think, but Gman is a truly strong character. His inner energy, his great intelligence, and his tremendous resilience have proven time and time again that he is capable of much. There is great power stored within him, and now I will prove it to you. Gman used to use laser eyes in old episodes, but after the battle in episode 47, he lost this ability. This is most likely due to the hypnosis of the TV man Titan, which damaged Gman's eyes as a result. But in newer episodes, we can see the Gman trying to use lasers. This was most noticeable in episode 73, when Gman's eyes lit up, but unfortunately he was unable to activate them. However, this ability hasn't gone away completely. It's probably still in him. As you know, I assume that the energy used by special toilets like ASTRO UFO, Gman, and Duchess is inside them and is an inseparable part of their body. This means that Gman still has that energy. But now, most likely because of his physical and mental state, he can't use it the way he used to. It's reminiscent of superhero stories where the main character has a huge power hidden in him, but for some reason he can't use it. However, in extreme cases, when his life or the lives of his loved ones are in danger, he can use it again and defeat the villain. In this case, the pattern is exactly the same. It's likely that Gman, when he gains the Titan suit, will not only gain immense strength, but will also regain the ability to shoot lasers from his eyes. Perhaps not immediately, but in a critical situation, this ability will not just return, but will manifest itself in full force. By the way, even before that, in a state of rage, Gman's energy would come out of him, helping him in battle. These are the instances where his scream not only stunned his opponents, but also pushed them away, which shows Gman's immense power. Now we can draw one conclusion. Gman is the strongest character in the show. All of the above proves it. His abilities, physical data, and mental abilities make him the most powerful character in the series. While in the old episodes of Gman, you could say that his survival was simple luck, you can't say that now. Gman was able to defeat Astro Scorpion, stood up to 3 Titans, and that's not his final form yet. Somewhere in a small base, he is assembling a Titan suit that has immense power. Gman may be the one to become the strongest Titan, so he will be the one in whom the technology of all 5 races will come together. The Cameramen, the ASTRO Toilets, the Skibidi Toilets, the Speaker Man, the TV Men. I'll try to explain now. In episode 76, we saw that the agents and the Skibidi Toilets have now officially merged, and it is now likely that they will now work as a team, both in war and on bases, improving themselves and their new allies. You and I have already seen that both the Toilets and the Alliance have ASTRO Toilets technology. The Skibidi Toilets have had time to incorporate it into the G Squad, and it's likely that the new improvements apply to the Gman as well. But since the agents are now willing to cooperate with the Skibidi Toilets, it's very likely that scientists throughout the Alliance will help Gman become a Titan again to defeat the ASTRO Toilets. Just imagine how powerful Gman would become in this form. There would be no limit to his abilities, and such a Titan could well compete with an entire army of ASTRO Toilets. By the way, I asked such a question to Dafuk in my interview, and he said that such an outcome is possible. It was a general question, not just about Gman, but either way I think it's likely to be Gman, because to me that seems like the best choice at the moment. Also, we can't forget that Dafuk's favorite villain is Gman, because he talked about it in one of his old interviews. The team and I also did a small concept of what an improved Gman would look like. We added guns on his shoulders like the ASTRO Toilets. You can also notice the TVs just above. And of course, we didn't forget about the stronger yellow energy. This was Iron Cameraman. Bye!